Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another F1 2020 League Racing video. For today's video, I'm going to be racing in TSRL Tier 9 for round 1 at the Australian Grand Prix. And although I'm in Tier 9, I've improved a ton since I've posted my time trial times. And so I'm looking to win this championship. And hopefully I can get off to a good start here at the Australian Grand Prix. But here for the Australian Grand Prix, I've decided to turn on the corner-only racing line for league races so I can try and extract as much speed as possible. And although I am in Tier 9, I have improved my time trials a ton from when they were due by over a second for every single lap. And here I'm just showing you guys my qualifying lap from Q2, and we run wide through turn 1, but the Williams does not move out of the way, and so we have to squeeze our way past. We've lost a ton of time right there just doing that, and so we've just got to try and make this the best lap we can do so that we can hopefully get through to Q3 on this lap, because I do not want to waste another set of soft compound tires. And I've already wasted my medium compound tires. As you guys can see, that there's a delta up in the top right, and that's because I went on the mediums, but I couldn't get a good lap in, so I decided to go on the soft. And here, heading through this turn, I get a small twitch on the exit of that turn. The car just wants to go to the left, and I managed to save that. We get a purple sector 2, which I'm guessing is the game lying to us, because we made quite a few mistakes with that second sector. But heading into the third sector, obviously the slowest part on the track, it should be a bit easier to manage, just to cool down a bit and try and finish off the lap. And yeah, here we are, just finishing off the lap with about 4 minutes to go in Q2, rounding the final turn, trying to make it through to Q3 on this lap time on these set of tires. And crossing the line, we have P6 with a 122 flat, and we did end up getting blocked that lap, so a 122 flat isn't the worst time in the world, but compared to everyone around us, it's a good time. And so moving on to the end of Q2, our time was enough to get us through to Q3, and with that lap, I think we could go for a top 5, possibly a top 3 in qualifying, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But before we continue in this video, I wanted to let you guys know that I haven't been uploading recently due to just things being really busy, especially with what's going on right now in the world, and school gonna start up soon, so I've been preparing. Haven't had enough time to record career mode and all those stuff. And so, especially with the next career mode gonna be a 50% race instead of a 25% race, I've decided I want to do one race, which is a 50% race in the season, and so that's going to be it. So it might take a while for that video to get out, but hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys busy with league racing videos like this one. And I hope you guys really enjoy these videos. If you guys do, don't forget to subscribe and like. Almost at 100, so I'm really excited to hit that 100 mark. But going back to the lap that we're doing right now, you see, so far it's not been too bad of a lap, and we could have taken a bit more curb right there, but it's all fine. And since this is our banker lap, it's not going to matter much. But hopefully we can make this a good one, just in case we were to mess up or invalidate our next lap. We could just go with this one, which would be a good lap already. But you can see there we go pretty wide through the last turn. A bit wide, we could have gone a bit tighter onto that next right-hander. We get a good run through the penultimate corner and a decent exit, a pretty good exit out onto the main straight. And so we're going down to the line. We run a 121.5, which is not a good lap. I have to go again for sure. But for now, it's up into P5, which is halfway through the pack, so that's alright. And so we're getting ready to go back out again here in Q3. And we actually went out for a lap before this, which, as you guys can see, did not go well. We invalidated it, and we're a second down. So we're going to try and do another lap as we cross the line with 1 second remaining in this session. Just barely managed to cross the line. We could have gotten more apex speed through turn 1, but we don't lose too much time. Heading into turn 3, though, we get a good entry and exit and we do not run wide. We touch the curb on the inside. Not sure if we wanted to do that, but we're in the green heading into the first turn of the second sector. We touched the curb over there. Could have gotten a lot more curb. Probably would have gone faster as well. But here there are yellow flags in front of us. Going into this next turn, we do it really well. We get a good apex, and then MRL Brown is just on the racing line. I think he retired from the session, and so that's just his AI taking control. And we run a tad bit wide right there, and it invalidates our lap time after a very good lap compared to our previous one. And so right here you can see we also almost in the car. We get on the grass a tad bit, and without that we probably lost like half a second or half a tenth of a second just by going wide out of the high-speed chicane. And at the end of the lap, we end up running a 1 minute 20.9, which could have been a 1:20.8 if we didn't invalidate it. And so that's a really big shame, as we could have been a lot higher. You can see right there, we could have been up P6, P5. We're down to P7, so we just got to try and make this work. And so here we are getting ready for the formation lap. This is the first round of the TSRL Tier 9 Championship, and as I said earlier, I'm looking to win this championship, so we'll just have to see what we can do from P7 on the grid. I'm looking for a top 5 finish here today, just because it's my first race, and as I am about 2 months, I've had a wheel for 2 months, so I'm starting to really get quicker on it, starting to understand how to use it, and how to gain time. I've gained tons of time on my time trials, and so I really do expect to be a championship contender at the end of the season. Maybe not right now, but after round 5 or 6, I really do believe that I could be a championship contender, fighting for those top spots. But here we're just going to move on to the end of the formation lap. And so we're just reforming for the grid start, or race start, shall I say. And hopefully I can get the Red Bull off the start. Maybe the Renault if I can get a good enough start coming out of turn 2. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Here we are just waiting for the red light to come on. And really, this is it. Moment of truth. I can lose my race here if I don't get a good start. And so we're going to 5 red lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And lights are out, and away we go. I go up to 3rd here. I don't get the start I wanted, but I turn on overtake after I turned it off. And heading into turn 1, I lose the position to the Haas of car driver 77. And I go wide into turn 1. And so here we've got a car to our inside. See, car driver has an amazing start, moving up in front of the Red Bulls. We almost run into the back of the Red Bull right there. To slow down to not hit him. And the McLaren gets around us, and we almost lose the car. We have to go wide through turn 4. And so we are slotting in P11. So that was a horrendous start for us, and so we have to try and make up for this. Not the start I wanted, and you can see I missed the apex over there as well. I don't think my tires were cooled, or were warmed up properly. But we're just going to have to try and catch up to everyone, as we're technically out of the points now. And so if we can catch up to the guys in front and get some points, if there's a safety car or something, maybe we can move on and do better, essentially, in this race. As you can see, I run wide and I lose the car. I go into the wall, but somehow, some way, I have no damage. And so I just do a spin really quickly to get the car around, almost lose it a second time. You can see the Haas of Invade Matt is off the track, and we get overtaken by the Alfa Romeo, get the spot back. Not sure what happened. I think he may have gotten an illegal overtake, which is pretty unfortunate. Codemasters not having coded their game correctly, I guess. And so on to lap number 2. But then I touch the curb and I spin again. And really, it's just lost at this point. There's nobody around me. I'm last place, so I just click reset the track. And so from here on out, it's just me trying to get back in the race. And really, at this point, I just lost hope. I mean, I'm last place and lap 2, and my tires are overheating. And they're starting to wear out due to my 2 spins. So really, it's just not looking good for us. We got to keep our head down and try to push and try to make something out of this race. And at the end of lap number 2, going through the high-speed chicane, this time I do not mess it up. But there is car driver on the side of the road for a double DNF for Haas. Very unfortunate, especially after the great start that he had. Both he and Invadematt had amazing starts, and unfortunately they just couldn't convert to a good result. And so we're moving on to halfway through lap number 3. We have caught up to P13, who is the AlphaTauri, who gets a bad run through whatever turn that was, and we barely managed to get in front of him before the VSC is deployed. And so I'm not sure why the VSC was deployed, but I'm not going to complain about it. That gives us the position against the AlphaTauri, gives us a moment to regroup, cool down our tires a bit after going for that overtake, and hopefully try and make some more overtakes in the near future. But at the same time, the VSC could give us a very big advantage against those around us, as they have spun out, and so we could very well be catching up to these guys. As you can see, there is a car in the pit of Flying Wallaby. I think that's how you pronounce it, Flying Wallaby, in the pits, and so we're up to P12 as the VSC ends. And so hopefully now we can just keep on moving up. We're 2 places away from the points, and at this point, any points would be better than nothing because of what's happened so far. And so at the end of lap number 5, our teammate goes into the pits, SV Tony 44, and so that's another position for us. We're up to P11, and I just gotta remember that at this point of the race, anyone that's pitting cannot get to the end of the race. Even if they were to put on the hard compound tires, getting to the end of the race would need 2 or 3 safety cars, and so I think I'm fighting everyone behind me for position now. And you guys can see here on lap number 6, Dynamo Dan is indeed 4 seconds ahead, just about. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to catch him. And so really, we're just gonna have to keep on racing and try to catch up to him. Just see how it goes. And here we are coming out of the pit lane after having 66 or 67% wear on the back left tire, my soft tires. I come out in front of Dynamo Dan, and so I'm in P9 now. So I basically just overcut both Dynamo and the McLaren of Flying Wallaby. And since Silk Waver in front of me went onto the medium compound tires, he has to pit again, which will put me ahead of him. And depending on what MJ Povey does, I might get in front of him as well. So things are starting to look up now. As here we are at the end of lap number 10, heading on to lap number 11. MJ Povey is coming out of the pits, and he's ghosted, so apparently he's not in this session, but we get out in front of him, up into P8 now, this Grand Prix. And so we've got Silk Weber in front of us now, 20 seconds in front, so we could get in front of him still, so we just have to wait and see. And we're just going to have to keep our head down and keep on pushing once again. And here on to lap number 14, there is a full safety car, and so this has helped us out a ton. And we've got a Williams in front of us and a McLaren in front of us, and now there's a safety car. We can close up for them. And initially, I do want a box, but I changed my mind, and I want to stay out this lap. And so heading into the safety car queue, I'm actually P5. And so we're just getting ready to go racing once again, and my tires are really cold. Not much I could have done under the safety car. I have to go really cautious out of the final turn, and into turn 1 I have to go pretty cautious as well. I will need to be careful to not get on the power too early and just spin the car around. As you can see, there's a back marker of the AlphaTauri, who we were actually overtaking 4 places at the very beginning of the race, lap like 3 or 4. And so he is now a back marker, and we've made some amazing progress so far, and we just have to continue. Heading on to lap number 21 out of 29, you can see behind us the 2 McLarens are swapping places, and so Flying Wallaby is now the one behind me. He's on medium tires, so he could be a very big threat later on in the race, and so now I have to try and pull away from him, and he's in my DRS range, so it's going to be pretty difficult, but I'm going to give it a shot, and if I don't, I might be in a ton of trouble in a couple laps time. Throughout this race, I had 6 seconds of penalties, and the car behind had 9. Flying Wallaby with 9, and you can see I go wide onto the grass, and Flying Wallaby gets his chance as I go wide to the next turn as well. The tire are really starting to affect me as well. He goes down the inside, heading into this next sequence of corners. He gets the inside, he gets the move done. I have to hang it around the outside. And so now all I have to do is stick with him, and hopefully I can try and get this spot back. I just have to keep it within 3 seconds, and I'll be fine, while also getting a 6-second gap to the car behind, as Silk Waver did not have any penalties up to this point. And heading on to the last lap of the race, I have 3 seconds less time penalties than he does. And so all I have to do is stick behind him for this last lap, and I'll be able to get up into 4th place again. So really, I'm in the driver's seat here, and I'm just lining up for a move down this main straight. I don't go on the throttle any more than I was already, and for some reason the car just spins around. I think it was dirty air, so I need to watch out for that. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But with all of that, I still managed to come in 6 seconds behind Flying Wallaby, and I come home in P5 this race as I run out of fuel crossing the line. So it's a pretty good comeback drive after all those spins, but it could have been a lot better. With all of that and really worn tires, we come home in P5. 1:25.3 is our best lap time, which is better than everyone behind us, other than MRL Brown, who came in 10th place. So we had a really nice comeback drive for this race, and hopefully next week we can do the same thing. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.